So we are working with making decisions. These are the topics that we are working with. Relational operators. Do you have any questions on this? The if statement and the if-else statement. These two statements we started working with last time. So we're ready to start with the if-else. If. Right here. This one. If-else if statement. This statement is the third type of if. We started with the if, simple if, where we only have one true block. So if the result of the condition is true, the execution goes into that block. If the result of the condition is false, it's going to skip. We have the if-else, which is going to give us a true section, a true block, and a false block. And then this is our third one, the if-else if. This one is going to give us a true block, but then if the result of the condition is false, we're going to test again. We're going to test again. So this one, a description is a change of if statements that test in order until the one is found to be true. So we're going to be going through the if statements. If one of the conditions results in a true answer, then that block is going to be executed and then it's going to exit. It's going to exit all the ifs. If the result of the condition is false, it's going to go to the next question and to the next question until it finds one that is true. This is an example. Let's suppose I ask you in the morning, is it raining? So if it is, you're going to take an action. You're going to take the umbrella. But if it's not, you're going to go to the next question. So your answer is no, it's not raining. So I ask you, is it windy outside? If the answer is yes, okay, I don't take the umbrella, but I take a hat. But if the answer is false, then I go to the next one, to the next question, and I ask, is it sunny? So I take the sunglasses. So I only take one action. If it's rainy, I take the umbrella and I forget about the hat and the sunglasses because I'm never going to be asking for this too. If it's windy, I'm going to take the hat and I'm never going to take the umbrella and I'm not going to be taking the sunglasses because I'm never going to be asking for this one. If it's not raining, if it's not windy, then I'm going to be asking if it's sunny. If it is, I'm going to take the sunglasses. If it's none of this, if it's not raining, if it's not windy, if it's not sunny, what am I going to be taking? Nothing, right? No action is going to be done. So there will be no action here. So this is how the if-else if is going to work. How are we going to code it? We're going to type if. We are going to be testing here a condition. We're going to be asking, like in this case, it will be, is it raining? If it is, we're going to put here, take the umbrella. Else, if, immediately, on this same line, we're going to put if, and we're going to test the second question. Is it windy? If it is, we're going to put the statement here, then take the hat. Then we have another one. If it's sunny, then we have an action, take the sunglasses. So, but if the first one is false, we go to the second one. If the second one is false, we go to the third one. If the third one is false, we exit and we never go into the true section. So in this if-else if, we're going to have an if and an else, but with the else, we're going to have an if. When we're using this type of if, we have what is called a trailing else. which is, what if none of the conditions are true? So it's not sunny, I don't take the sunglasses. It's not rainy, I don't take the umbrella. It's not windy, I don't take the hat. So what do I do? Sometimes we need something, right? So maybe we can add a trailing else that is going to say, okay, if it's not one, if it's not the other, if it's not the other, then send a message saying, have a nice day, a beautiful day outside. So we're going to be using what is called a trailing else that is going to make sure that there is an action at the end when none of the conditions are true. Here they explain, provides a default statement or action that is performed when none of the conditions is true, can be used to catch invalid values or handle exceptional situations. Like if I'm going to be asking you, okay, if your grade is over 90, I'm going to give you an A. If the grade is over 80, I'm going to give you a B. If the grade is over 70, I'm going to give you a C. If the grade is over 60, I'm going to give you a D. Else, I'm going to give you an F. I don't even have to ask, right? Because if it was not over 90, if it was not over 80, if it was not over 70, if it was not over 60, then it's going to be an F. So I can use a trailing else that is going to say, okay, you have an F. Here's an example. If the age is greater than or equal to 21, you're an adult. If the age is greater than or equal to 13, you're a teen. If the age is greater than or equal to 2, you're a child. Else, you're a baby. Let's suppose that I have an 80 for age. What are we going to be sending to the output? Adult. What if the age is a 1? What are we going to be sending to the output? Baby. So as you can see, there's only one message that is going to be sent. If the age is 10, what are we going to be sending to the output? Child. So we don't send adult, teen, and child at the same time, or we don't send teen and child, or we don't send teen and baby. We only send one action because there's only one message here. Yes. Yes, it has to be in this order because they are not using the correct method to code it is with the logic operator that we're going to be discussing as well. We're going to be learning about logic operators so that it can be perfect, the conditions. But right now if we have to do it in this order, it will work. Okay? Questions on this? Okay, so we're going to stop right here. And we're going to apply this. We already did a small practice program. We're going to do another one. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to, this program calculates the gross pay. We're going to put here. When the employee works regular hours, which is 40 or less, he gets paid time, which is hours worked, times rate. when the employee works more than 40 hours, he gets paid hours minus 40 times 1.5 times rate plus 40 times rate. So we are giving the formula to calculate overtime, and we're giving the formula to calculate regular pay. Okay? Everybody understands this? What are we doing here? Let's calculate what? Okay, let's suppose that, let's do just a little example. Let's suppose that the employee worked 50 hours and he gets $10. How much is he going to get? How much are we going to be paying? Get your calculators. Let's try it out. 50 hours and he gets paid $10 the hour. $100? $700? $150? Well, we have two different answers. Well, I'm giving you the formula here. You just need to follow it. Hours, which are 50 minus 40, give us 10, times 1.5 is going to be 15, times the rate is going to be $150, plus 40 times 10. So it's going to be $550. $550. So what are we doing? We're just following the formula. So he's going to be getting $550. What if he works 30 hours and he gets paid $10? What are we going to, how much is he going to get? How much? 300. Okay, so do you see how you are selecting a formula? That's what I want you to look at, okay? That we are selecting a formula based on the number of hours. If the hours are 30, we're selecting this formula right here. If the hours are 50, which are more than 40, we're selecting this formula right here. So we're going to be going back to select one formula or the other depending on what? On the hours. So I'm going to have a question that is going to be asking how many hours did you work, right? And based on that condition, we're going to be selecting either Formula 1 or Formula 2. Everybody understands the project? Excuse me? Times. Okay? Okay, so we're ready. If I'm going to be visualizing this, what am I going to have on my screen? What? Enter the wage? Are we going to ask the user to enter the wage? The hours and the rate. The wage is what we're going to be giving them. So I'm going to put here, enter the hours worked. Enter the rate of pay. And what am I going to give them? You get paid, and then so much. Those 3 lines. So I'm going to be asking for something, I'm going to be asking for something, and we're going to be providing something else, right? Okay, everybody with me? Questions? Okay, so we can start with our pseudocode. Step number 1, bless you. Step number 1. Memory allocation. Okay, so how many variables do I need? 2. 3. Okay, so what will be the first one? Hours. Another one? Rate. Okay.
And then the total amount you get paid?
Total paid. Excuse me? The 1.5, we can do it as a constant, right? We can do that as a constant. Not necessarily, but we can do it.
What was the constant one again? What was the constant?
A constant is an area in main memory, just like the variable, but we use the keyword CONST and it's not going to change. And we set up the value at the beginning of the program. Yeah, we don't need it, but just I'm going to put it there. Okay, so we have memory allocations. Now I start with my process. So what is the first part? It's my input, right? So what am I going to be inputting? Let's ask the user for the hours. And then ask the user for the rate. And that's it. Now my calculations. Okay, so I have my calculations. How do I get it now? Which formula do I apply?
The first one.
The first one? How do I know that I always need to do the first formula? Okay, if I need to ask if the hours are what? I'm sorry?
Less than 40?
Less than. What about if it's equal to? Or equal to 40? Then what am I going to do? Multiply hours times rate. Otherwise, what do I do? Use the other formula, which is going to be, I'm going to copy it so that I don't. If I don't even know what this formula means, maybe I'm calculating the net present value of an investment and they gave me the formula, so I need to copy it exactly how they gave me. And then I'm going to display the pay. And we're going to end the program. Display the pay, yes, with a message. Where? Do I need parentheses there? No. I can do it if the parentheses are needed in the code, not on my pseudocode. I know that this is not going to work, right? Otherwise, C++ is not going to know what otherwise means. C++ is not going to know what ask means.
It's just like
This is just my plan of action, right? With my first class, I did a flowchart instead of a pseudocode because I have there the other type of screen. But here, remember that it's so hard for me to work with the mouse. So I'm doing it everything in pseudocode. Questions about this? Okay, let's test our pseudocode before we code it. So we have this memory allocations, and we ask the user for the hours. Let's suppose that the hours are 30. We ask the user for the rate. We suppose that the rate is 10. And if the hours are less than or equal to 40, they are, right? They are 30. Then I multiply hours, which are 30, times rate, which is 10. Perfect. Otherwise, no, I don't go into the otherwise because I already have an action here. So I skip this and then I display the pay with the message. So I display 300 and a message. You get $300. Let's suppose that this is 41. Same rate. 41. And the rate is 10. Calculations. Is the hours less than or equal to 40? No. So I skip this part and I go to the otherwise. Yeah, right now it's otherwise. So I'm going to do hours, which is 41 minus 40 is going to give me 1, times 1.5 is going to give me 1.5, times rate is going to give me 15, times 40 times 10 is going to give me $400. So at the end, he's going to be getting $415. So I display this with a message. You get paid for $115. So it works. My pseudocode works. I already tested this. So I'm ready to start my code. So we're going to start a new project. We want to make sure that it's Win32 console application, and we're going to call this pay. We're going to advance next. This is an empty project. And we're going to add the code here, our editor, new item, code is C++, and we're going to call it pay as well. So we have here the pseudocode. I'm going to ask you to start this. Okay, try it and I'll give you the answer right now. I'm just going to put my comments. Following now the pseudocode, we're going to solve this. So how many includes do we need? Do I need CMath for this project? Do I need string for this project? No. Was I asking for a name? No. Do we need IOMANIP? Yes, for the decimals. For the decimals. So I want to make sure that they give me the correct rate, they give me the correct hours, because they can work 40 hours and a half, and we want to pay that half hour. So I'm going to be putting the pound, include IOMANIP. What else do I need? IOStream. And then pound include IOStream. Using namespace std. Okay, so now I can start main, int, main, open and close parentheses. I do my curly braces just to have them ready. And I'm going to start following my pseudocode. So I have memory allocations. So I'm going to put here. And I need 4, 1, 2, 3, and then a constant. So what type of data type do I need for hours? Double. Why double? For the decimals, because I can accept hours can be 40 hours and a half, like I said, or 30 hours and 15 minutes, things like that. So I have hours. What else do I need? Rate. I also need it as double, so I'm going to put it here as. What else do I need? And total pay. So those 3 variables need to be double. What about the constant that I have of 1.5? Constant, C-O-N-S-T, double, and then I'm going to put double a name, right? I can put here extra. It's assigned the value of 1.5. And then semicolon. We can also put the 40 there. Yes, but I want to make a combination, so this time I'm just going to be using one. We can also put as a constant 40. The next one is input. And we're going to be asking the user for the hours. So how do we ask a user for the hours? With a prompt, cout. And we're going to put enter. I think that's what we have here, right? Enter the hours work. They have a colon. Leave at least 1 space. After that, sin. Where are we going to put the value that the user gives us? In hours. In a variable called hours that we already declared right here. Then I have here, ask the user for the rate. So again, we do a cout, right? You put enter the rate of pay colon, leave one space, close it, and then Cin. And where are we going to be putting the value that the user gives us? Rate, R-A-T-E, semicolon. The next part is calculations. And this is going to be here, if the hours are less than or equal to 40, then multiply. So how are we going to write all that in C++? Use the if statement. So we're going to put if, then parentheses, hours less than or equal to 40, close the parenthesis. How do we put then or then in C++? Open parenthesis again? Okay, the curly braces, right? What do we do here? Statement, which is going to be what? Here it is. Let me just open it up. Here, if hours is less than or equal to 40, then multiply hours times rate. So how do I do that? Pay is assigned the value of total pay, excuse me, it's total pay. Total pay is assigned the value of hours. How do I put times? The asterisk, rate. Do I need a C out here? No, I don't need a C out. I close my braces, yes. I have, in both cases, I'm going to be outputting.
And then else if, right?
Do I need an else if? Do I need to ask again? I have otherwise. So it's just the else. Else what? Total pay is going to be assigned the value of it's one or the other, right? We already did it. I don't have any ifs right here, just one. So I don't need to ask again. So it's going to be hours minus 40. I'm just following the formula. Times 1.5 times rate plus hours times 40 times rate. Close the parenthesis, close the semicolon. And then after I do one or the other, which is here in my calculation, I do my output. So I'm going to see out. Let's see how do they want this display to be. you get paid. So I'm going to put here, you get paid, $, one space I'm going to put, and then my total pay. Now, if I need to put this in format, what do I need to do? Total pay, I need to format this to 2 decimal places. Set precision, so we can put it before, see out, set precision, and what else? Fixed. So now I'm ready. Return 0. So we follow our pseudocode exactly. What we're doing is we're translating our pseudocode into real code. That's what I'm doing. So we're ready. If I run this program right now, the what? Oh, we didn't use the constant. That's right. Enter the hours worked. So let's suppose that it's 40 hours. Enter the rate of pay is $10. Okay, so you get $400. We need to advance this to the next line. So we will correct that right here so we can see it better. And line. Okay, now we're going to run it again. F5. Yes. Enter the hours that you work, 41 hours. Enter the rate of pay is $10. And you get paid for 15. So it's working. Let's do it again. Control F5. Enter the hours that you work, 5. The amount of pay is $15. And you get $75 for this week. Control F5 again. We're going, okay, let's suppose that they work 60 hours. They get paid $10. And wow, they get $700 this week. So it's working. Okay? Questions? The main part here is not solving your syntax errors. If you have an error in the syntax, it's very easy to find. What we are learning is how to solve the projects, how to solve the problems, the implementation of the logic.